And good morning and welcome to the swamp here on thecrochetcrowd.com. It is January 9th, 9:45 a.m. So Daniel, let me just see. I'm new to StreamYard. It's a brand new platform for me. So let me just see if I can go this way. Okay. So basically Daniel has challenged me yesterday to come up and be more innovative with design. And anyway, it's been a nightmare. So, I do the stupid thing and I go to Stitch Club and I go and work on something stupid like this. So anyway, it required a bit of attention, a lot of frogging. You can't get too involved in the conversation. But anyway, so came up with something like this. I did not design this, but I saw the concept online and I thought, shit, that's kind of cool. So I had to come up with a sample to determine this. I don't know if I would ever do something like this on my own, as far as like, I would not do a blanket like this. Let me just tell you that. But I could do something small. Might be a cool project to teach at a live workshop or whatever. And we have our people joining us today. So, Michael, do you want to join me on the chat this morning? You can let me know in the comments. I see that you're here. So Michael hosted me. Hosted. I don't even know how to invite people now that I say that, but maybe I can do that. So I think I have his email just in case he's up and ready. And let me just move my screens around here. And so Michael was on StreamYard from MDL. You kind of, if you were watching our holiday, Ola J, Xmas and the Fruit Flies or something like that. Anyway, we had a lot of fun together for sure. So let me just go here. Can't event. Okay, so that's fine. So it's even easier for me because I don't know how to do it. So anyway, so so we've kind of been hanging out. So I want to design today on computer and to record what I want. After I showed Daniel the sample this morning, he wants me to push it to a new barrier, but I want to get the original in diagram format professionally online and then go from there. So that's kind of what we want to go from there. So what is the best crochet hooks on the market? I just use Amazon crap. I'm Amazon Canada. I buy these and I buy them in bulk. So I have them in bulk because I don't go anywhere, but apparently I lose hooks like crazy. So Amazon, and I think they're $15 for a whole set, and the shipping is really cheap. So we have that coming with us today. So welcome everybody, and so we'll get started in just a few moments here. I've been having a bitch of a time trying to get a hold of Zoom. So I used to use Zoom, but I've not been able to log in since August. So and then they changed their platform, so I've not been able to do anything like this online with YouTube. So I switched over yesterday to StreamYard because tonight, for the first time, we're going to be interviewing a regular crocheter. So my goal for 2025 is just to interview regular people just like you. And so there's an interview process that Karen's handling. There's a link on our website if you're interested. It's called Loose Ends with Mikey, and you can apply to be a thing. But I don't want anybody that's going to use it as a platform to sell their stuff. I want to just talk to everyday crocheters, and that's kind of my goal. So I'm going to be designing on camera today. I really like the crochet designs. I used to be a card designer back in my 20s. Late teens and actually 20s, and I realized I hated the industry because it was the old boys club and I was not an old boy. And we were in the process of design switching from hand drawing stuff to actually doing computer, which made me disconnected from the team. And also I just didn't enjoy the industry as a whole. So when I got downsized out because the economy tanked in the mid 90s, it was actually a great thing in disguise. It kind of pushed me out of the field and into something new. So I was at the car dealer a couple days ago, and anyway, I totally got talked down to. The guy asked me if I knew the difference between a fender and a bumper, and I used to design cars. And I said, yeah, I do, and it's not called the bumper, it's called the fascia. Anyway, it was not great. So anyway, so yeah, so love listening to your customer service rants. Yeah, so that's kind of what we have going on. So I'm not really sure my approach that I'm going to take with this particular design, as I showed you earlier, and how I'm going to draw this out. There's a lot of slip stitching in this thing, which will drive some people insane. But once I draw it, then I'm going to be able to alter it and make it really fun. I told Daniel, I said, actually, I should make this for a border for one of the stitch alongs and really drive everybody up the wall and get a lot of hate mail over that, right? So that's kind of neat. And I think with the right yarn, so I used Bernat Symphony yarn to be able to look at that. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to jump screens so I can see what you're saying to me on camera. I'll try to keep up with the conversation. But I really don't know my approach until I start attacking this thing. So we'll see what happens. So we have two screens. So my design screen is to this way. And so you are that way. So anyway, because you don't want to see my brain think and making the hamster go nuts. So we're going to switch on over and we're going to switch this way. There we go. So yeah, so you can see my pretty face here if you want to. I know. So anyway, this was my last design. So what I do is with my last design, I kind of just take it apart. I just kind of rename things. I have a master document. This is the summer stitch along coming up, so I'm still in mid-design with that. I'm really proud of the design that we're working through. I have all my resource notes all done, and you can see that I've been working patiently with this thing and really kind of making it fun. So one of the things that I get a cheap thrill out of is that I like to provide this information for your inspirations because they have a person that does this. If you ever sell anything like this, apparently it's a good job, paying job to have if you ever learn something like this. So I'm going to save this work and I'll come out of this later. It is already saved. And we're going to come on over. And so I have what I call it as a diagram master. And so the diagrams only ever get drawn one time and then they get altered. And then when they get altered, they go into this document here. And so basically it's anytime I'm working through everything, it kind of goes into here. And so you can see that as I make more diagrams, I just keep adding to the document so I can have everything. And then I do label shit up because I can't remember back loop versus front loop and back post and all of that jazz. So it's easier for me to be able to do that. So, right. So we hope you're having a good day. How are my hands? Not great. It's actually been pretty awful. But the show must go on, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So yeah, so we're gonna carry on today. I cannot tell. My first question that I had in my brain is that what was right and what was left. So looking at my design, that I have here, I have to determine what is the right side of the diagram and what is the wrong side. And I can tell by the tail on what side was the right side and what side's the wrong side. But what I'm going to do, we're just going to jump a screen here. You're not going to be able to see this, but we're just going to jump a screen and then we're just going to take a look. So yeah. So this is, so Wendy's my assistant for anybody that doesn't already know that. So we use Adobe Illustrator for this kind of stuff. It does a professional design. And we're just going to tools, a flip, vertical. Sorry, I do that for visualization. No. It was flip, horizontal. That's it. So it took me a long time, not that it really matters to you, but it took me a long time to actually understand right versus left. So whenever I was like, oh, it's right. And you do, does anybody do that with your hands where you're like right, left? Do you make the design and then find the yarn and see does the yarn fit? Yeah, sometimes. The biggest thing with design, Mary, is that you have to design with the consciousness of what the consumer, can afford. And so that becomes the biggest issue of them all. And so, so some of the designs, I wish they were more colorful, but when you add more color, it becomes more expensive. And so a design can fail when you do that kind of thing. So sometimes the dream of being more complex and providing more colors and more yarn options become a detriment to your design and ends up killing your design. So you have to always design with that in mind. So we're going to move stuff out of the way. So this particular design was very much. Do you remember the London, or sorry, the fog, the Fisherman's Fog? The Fisherman's Fog had issues with the pattern, essentially, meaning that you just didn't go back and forth, but you actually went partial way and then back and then forward again and then start again and then back partially and then back over. So you're like zigzagging across. This is what this monster is going to be doing today. So that's good. So the first thing that we need to determine is that we need to, I don't want to necessarily get rid of stuff completely out. I just want to move it out of the way. And we're going to be using a multiple of different things. So this one is a multiple of 6 plus 1. So I will leave this here. So I have it. And we're also going to be using slip stitching today. And then we're going to be using some trebles and half doubles. I'm just going to grab them all. Okay. I'm broadcasting live, just so you know. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Okay. What's that?
Nothing is wrong.
Oh.
Why do I have a spoon here?
Oh, because I washed a spoon in the wash machine. I think I almost wrecked the wash machine. Thanks a lot.
Well, it says clean.
Yeah, it is totally clean for a change. Okay, so we will get this all laid in to position. And everything, when it comes to design, has to be in order, not only alphabetically, but also in the size of the stitching. So I just got to insert my stitches into position. And I might as well just get this over with. It's like Sex and the City. Let's just get it over with. And yeah. So Mary, what's going on with Mary? She's feeling alone for something. I didn't see anything like that. Okay, so it's good to ask questions. There are some crochet design programs that are out there that are absolute garbage. So anyway, so we're gonna line these guys all up together so they're all lined up. Half double crochet, and this is treble crochet. And I just want to double check. See, they're not lined up perfectly, so we will line those up. Perfect, done. Okay, so that's over and done with, so I don't have to worry about that. And so in the stitch key, which this is, it's always black. So we're going to leave this out of the way. We're going to leave this out of the way. Okay. So we know that it's a multiple of 6. And so we have to do everything by 6s. So everything, the grid has it in 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So what's a multiple of 6? 25. 24 would be a multiple, right? Yeah. So we're going to take out 1. So you got 5, 10, 15, 20. 24 is a multiple of 6 plus 1 here. Okay, and this will be row number 1 is going to be, actually that's confusing. It's not really right side, but we'll leave it at that. Okay, so the pattern, I need to stay consistent with the heights of the stitches for this bad boy. So what I'm going to do is that we need to start pulling some stitches, and we need to start creating layers. So the layers are right here. So we're going to create a layer, and what we're going to say, I'm just going to say row 1. Okay, so we know that the first, everything's in 6s. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just trying to think about my approach here. I'm just going to grab a copy of these things and move them so I can play with them. So the first 6 are going to be a slip stitch. And I want to take a look at a single crochet and see the height of that and put that slip stitch so it kind of matches. So it's gonna match. Okay, so we need 6 of these bad boys. So I'm not going to worry about the alignment until I get all 6 in, and then we'll worry about that alignment second. So I want to just take a look at where these are. And I want to equally space these guys out. Move them down. Okay, so this would be step number 1. Should I do this as a different color? Okay, so I'll worry about that in a moment. So then after we do that, we have to do a chain after the last slip stitch goes in. But not interfere with here. And so we're going to, so I need all those stitches. So I need those stitches that I just put in. So I'm going to drag these guys over closer. So my goal is to kind of figure out the height. And I'm thinking that I need to bend. This goes up. I think I need to bend these into a line. So let's do a line. I think it'd be easier if that's a line. we're going to move this guy up. And bend it. And bend. And have to move up and bend and bend. And I want to get the height of this single crochet to be and what I'm going to do, which is kind of not right to do, but this is always on an angle, I'm going to move it horizontal. Technically I shouldn't, but yeah. But I have problems. I have found I can read I'm the same way. So when I learned to crochet as a kid, I couldn't read the patterns because I didn't understand, but I can read the diagrams. So I taught myself to read the diagrams. So the reason why I'm making the middle straight up is so that I can flip these guys around and they won't appear backwards. So if they're horizontal, they won't actually look wrong. And I think I'm going to move this guy a little taller. And I'm going to keep this angle out of the way. Okay, so we start here. So we chained up. So we go second chain from the hook and we slip stitch 6. Chain 1, slip stitch, single. Okay, let me do that. So that's going to be my line going up, but we're not done. We're going to start again here. We chain 1, and what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch all the way down these 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy here and I'm going to slip down on the same access point. So the goal is to keep the consistency between the stitches equal to each other. And these guys are gone. We're going to move that up out of the way. So that would be the base of an edge. So what I think I need to do is I think I need to put some arrows. I need to put some arrows. So I think I need to I just don't want to interfere with this. I'm going to take that and go the other way. I have a real problem when I start free-forming stuff like that. Just I want to keep the sizing consistent. I meant to learn to use the computer. I meant to learn to use the computer to write pattern diagrams. So Wendy's alluded to, I took a course with Edie Ekman. She's a crochet designer. So it took me years to understand how to do this. But then she filled in the final holes. But you really need to know how to use Adobe Illustrator before you even think about it. I think I'm going to put another arrow up here. Tilt that down. So anyway, Daniel started doing crochet diagrams earlier on, and then he showed me how to use Adobe Illustrator. So it became basically two of us trying to figure stuff out. So we need another one of these coming up soon, but this is just the edge. So now we need to do another 6. I think I'm going to move this a little bit further in. And now I need to draw a line from here to connect the dots. And we'll do this as a red line. So we're going to go down there. And what I'm thinking of doing, I'm thinking about doing a block. Daniel. Daniel. I don't remember how to do the block. Daniel,
Yeah.
can you show me how to do a flat-sided triangle?
A what?
I need a triangle that.
What are you looking? What are you?
I need a triangle that looks like this.
Are you live?
Yeah.
Huh. A triangle that looks like that.
Yeah, I want to put a block, like a highlight behind it. It's not the line, is it?
No, you want a triangle. You want a square.
Okay, so I want a square. Okay, just show me.
You want a square. Just do a square.
Yep.
And then you can actually press A.
A?
Yep.
So it's A.
And then you can shape it whatever you need.
And so so just A.
What?
What was the A mean?
A?
Yeah.
It means you got your direct tool and then you got your sensor. I forget the names of them, but anyways, the A, it's this one right here.
Oh, the point tool.
Yeah.
That right there.
Yep.
Is that A?
So you just want a triangle.
No, I want this.
Oh, okay.
And then I want to I want to make it so that
Okay, so you know what you're doing now.
Can I fill that in?
Yeah.
So I exit out.
You go back to that and then and make sure your block is filled. There you go.
Okay. And then we just make it transparent.
What?
Make it transparent then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how to do it.
Yeah. Okay, this is something I just learned, so I'm going to put it in my documents. Okay. So is Daniel also a designer? Yes and no. I don't know if I would classify him as a designer, but and I also know that if I pull this in, it will, yeah. I do know that. It'll look nicer. So you go up and over. Okay, so now the next part is going to be so the next part is going here. Okay, so I'm going to make another layer. So I'm going to just say box illustrations. And move that guy over. And we're going to hide that guy. So does Daniel crochet? He can crochet, but not really. He crochets very much like knitting, so it takes him a long time to do it. Okay, so I think so. I need another one of these going over. And now, so we got that. So I'm going to maintain this line. And I have to maintain this line straight. So the last stitch going in, I want the same distance there. So that's the last stitch that we know about. So I'm going to take a copy of these guys and move them up. So now it's just about fine tuning. Gone. Leaves going right. A main leaf going right. Are you setting this up like shark fins and the sturdy blanket? Those are so pretty. Well, kind of, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, going left. Actually, I'll go the other way. So that was a half double crochet. So the middle is missing. and then this half double crochet, and then it was 2 doubles. So I'm going to do 2 doubles. And I'll leave this one on the same angle. Move this guy down and shrink it. Okay, and then we need another double into position. Sorry, this is a treble. So we'll go the treble is right here. Actually, it's just easier if I do that. This guy. Reading comprehension is hard, says 22. Okay, so what we have is that we have to then go back all the way across. So we're going to move these out of the way. And I'll probably do that. Guides. Isn't there a pattern to make a full Afghan size? Last month, I was able to make it a beginner a full Afghan size. I just made it a throw, so it sounds like Sue actually made it bigger. The thing about design is that no matter what I do with the design, there's always a problem. So whether if I make it a circle, then it should have been a rectangle, or it should have been square, or it should be something else. And it gets to the point where it's too hard to comply with everybody's wish list. So you just got to do your best you can. Jeannie kind of fell down that same rabbit hole when she was designing, is that she would design something and then people would complain to her that she should have did it a certain way and she didn't. So then she would make another one. So Hugs and Kisses like has 15 variables of design because she kept complying with everybody. And it got to the point where it's just a little much. You just can't function as a human trying to comply with what people want like that. So I've had to learn the hard way of saying no. Say this is the only design that was available and that's all there is ever going to be. And then I find there's creative people that can figure stuff out like that if they want it that bad. The key for this kind of stuff is to make sure everything stays lined up, because then you'll have a problem in the next rows. So I am placing in guides to make sure. So I didn't know anything about the guides until I was SpinRite actually, or Yarnspiration sent me a diagram to look at, and it had all the guides still in the program, and I'm like, what are those? And so they were sharing with me that they use the guides to keep things lined up, and so sort of learn those guides and actually keep them. So the guides the customer never sees, they're just there for design. So Wendy's commenting about the one-sec squawk. in customer service, like it's kind of crazy, but it's true, is that people will send an email, say they need something like immediately, and then you'll get a thank you note like almost a month later that they finally had time to come back to it. And yet when they sent their email, there was like this huge push. And it's actually kind of aggravating. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a polygon tool. And I think if I, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 sides. So that's 5, 6, 7. And Daniel said to push A. A. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to make that into a shape. The last one was yellow. We'll do this one as green. And green. 20%. And I'll pull in to the corners. And we're going to send this guy to box illustrations. Does that make any sense? I think it does. I'm going to turn him up a little bit. So the main shape then is the rest of this other one right here. So let's call this left, go left, main leaf. Second section. So Nessa is saying hello this morning. I said to the current layer. So I think if I hide that layer, everything should be gone except for that stupid thing right there. So I'll make sure that gets hidden. Object, set of the layer. So if we hide it, we're good. So I'm going to put this, so this is going to be the right side. If I hide that, no, main leaf going left, I'm going to say edge leaf. And we're going to put that all. Edge leaf going left. So if I hide that, this should be gone, and it is. Okay, so mainly, so this leaf here is going to be our consistent. Let's just copy it and see what happens. So what's missing? This arrow right here. Oh, 2.5. It's red. It's an arrow. So how to work with people staring at me? Isn't that true? So I'm gonna hide. And we'll change the color of that guy. And I'm going to just change him. Okay, so we're going to copy this guy again. He's going to go right to the end. We'll make him blue. Hide the box illustrations. We'll take this guy. And now we just have the last section to do. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's out, out, out. Oh. Yeah, that's out. And this guy has to change to copy. This guy changes out. And that's it. So we're going to take this guy, box illustrations. And change him to something else. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be a polygon actually. Okay. Have to get the fingers working first. Okay, so that's row number 1. Now row number 2 has to be drawn from scratch. So I think these are garbage. But row number 2 is very similar to this. So I'm going to just flip it and see what it looks like. Oh my god, it actually works. Let me just make sure. So we start here and then we go up. Will you show us when he's done? Yeah, so anyway, this is what I'm working on. So it's 3-dimensional. Okay, so I'm here and now I need to go back across. So these arrows are in the wrong direction. Okay, so we're going to start here. So I'm going to grab these guys. And then these guys come back. And then these guys all come into play. Wendy's left me a hint. Just give me a moment. I forgot about it. Oh shit, I actually have to do the stitch along stuff. Oh, somebody left me a complaint this morning. I gotta fix something. Somebody left me a complaint this morning. I'm just trying to remember where they left it. It's something to do with the stitch long. If you click on chapter 29, you get the instructions for round number 27. It's like this until the end. If I click on chapter 29, you get instructions for 27. I don't know what they're talking about. Okay. Let me what do I want to do first? I have to get the design for Inspired by Grace. Okay, weeks number 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, I'm just preparing the PDF for the Inspired by Grace. I can't seem to get into the website.
What?
I can't see it. I'm still live, but I can't seem to get into the website.
Oh, maybe cloud access is
The
down.
website is unaccessible. So I'm not going to be able to update the stitch along.
Mm.
The cloud server is unaccessible. So Wendy, I'm not going to be able to do the stitch along update right yet. The website is not accessible for me. The host is not working. Okay, so I think I'm going to break from here. The website is malfunctioning. I think that's my first priority before I do anything else. So we're going to be ending for today, and we hope you have a great morning ahead. We'll see you.